Hey guys, Donyale here from helpingbuildbridgesacross.com. Today's topic is you really should to. Turn the music down just a little. You really should do. You really should do. ... Question mark. You know, I just wanted to share with you something that I think about often. I love love. You know, I love people loving you enough to share, right? And we should all be open to things, because if you get closed-minded or you have all the answers, you can't hear other voices, and sometimes that's scary when you're your own counsel. Not healthy. And it can be a little bit deep. It's good to take opinions in and decide what to do with it. But I'm going to help out with something that I think about, not an answer, a perspective. When someone shares with me, I am very open. I listen. But then after I listen, I analyze a couple of things. One is the intent. Most of the time, it's a good intent. There's not very rare I think of things as like, you know. And if I don't know, then that really goes in another class. But overall, I know the intent. But then I look at the life. I look at the result. I look at the present day situation. And I have to say to you, it's hard to take in people always giving what someone should do or shouldn't have done, but yet their lives don't represent that. And when you know the story behind the smile, when you recognize there's a whole lot going on that we don't know, some of it you know, and probably 80% you don't, it really puts in perspective how much you can take in. When I talk about a relationship with my Creator, with God, it's very important to me because I'm living off of experience. I'm living off of the word that I receive. I'm living off of a life that has proven the manna in my life, the peace in my life. Not giving answers, not signing you up for my club, because I have figured out that I'm not trying to sway anyone. My perspective is that you have to die like I do. And you have to ask yourself, what are you willing to die on? And I'm very comfortable in that statement because it takes away the weight of it. I'm not making my way right. I'm saying to you, like the journey started and like it will end, we will exit out of here on our own. And so it doesn't matter your club, your fraternity, your co-workers, your clubs, your BFF. When the chapter closes, it closes by yourself. So the question then becomes, what are you standing on? What is your belief? What is your foundation? What are you willing to live on? It determines how you treat others. It determines how you come across or what you're sharing. Are you sharing from a heart of good intent, or you just want to be right? You just want to be validated? You want to just be knowledgeable? I mean, these things we have to ask ourselves, each and every one of us. When I share, I'm sharing because I need to share. My thing is an ointment. My healing ointment is in getting it out. There are things that come in my spirit that are lodged inside that I have to push out. So I do it by words. I do it by blog posts. I do it by blogging a post. I do it by videos. I do it by podcasts. I do it by drawing. I do it by journaling. I get it out. Now where it goes and what it does, that's up to God. Not my business. What He decides to do with it is totally up to Him. But I just look at life. Sometimes, you know what, when you can learn so much, you can learn so much when you learn to listen. When you learn to observe. You don't have to say a lot. You don't have to be the person in the room talking and sharing, holding the microphone. You can just listen. And you will be amazed what you learn by listening and by observing. Just listen. Just observe. And I'm going to tell you a deeper one. This is a good one because I've experienced this one for a long time. I can always tell when I'm talking to the person that's talking to me, or I can tell when I'm talking to the person that they talk to. You really should. You really should. You really should. So what I'm telling you is a very powerful statement because it's the truth for me. When I'm talking to someone, I don't care who it is. I can tell when I'm talking to them or when I'm talking to someone else. What does that mean, Donyale? Well, there's times where I've had friends over the years where we're not connected now, but I can tell when I'm talking to them or talking to their spouse or talking to their children or talking to their pastor or talking to the book that they read last night. I can tell when I'm talking to them, meaning this is what they believe, this is what they're working out, this is what they're standing on. And then I can tell when I'm talking to people around them who are in their ear and who they have taken as authority in their life. Now, listen, Donyale from Helping Build Bridges Across doesn't have the answers. I do not. I'm living in my own journey, and I'm gonna tell you from my own places of pain along my journey. Not just what happened in 2016. That wasn't my first valley. That was the thing that altered my life. Altered my life in the way that I get up every day. I'm no longer a two-parent home. The decisions that are made is by me. And I'm concerned always about my sons and the people that will come in their lives. There's always those things, and you have to pray that everything that you put into their life as two parents, as God-fearing children, our home, we raise our children as Christians, but you pray that all these things are a part of their lives. But they'll pick up what's important, and they'll keep pressing through, and you pray that their lives will get to the journey that you have impressed upon them to live. But I say that to say we don't live the same lives. We don't have the same experiences. And I think it's somewhat of a disrespect when you come into someone's life and you're speaking and you're giving your assessment into something, that may have been asked for or not, and you don't walk the same road. So I'm very careful. So as a Christian, as a person, that's my faith. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Savior. I live on the anointing. What does that mean? That means that I'm not selling you my faith. But I'm going to tell you that my faith is what walked me through my husband being shot in the back, dying in the street. It's what helped me walk to that funeral home, make his arrangements. It's what helped me to speak at his service, to celebrate his life. Not to be so downridden. I'm not making myself a hero. I'm saying to you, this is what stepped up in my life. I don't expect people to be me or to do what I do, because then that even is not right. That's not a good intent. I'm not someone's role model. I'm not a roadmap. I was walking out an experience of things that were implanted inside of me that I didn't know they were there until they came out. So, today I want to share with you, you really should know what you're willing to die on. You should really know what you're willing to live on. You should really know that every decision that you make, every moment, is you. And if you allow other people in your life, your co-workers, your friends from your childhood, the people that are in your life now, your spouse, your girlfriend, your significant other, whatever that looks like, whoever your people are in your zone that are speaking to your life, your parents, who we love dearly. I love my parents. They're dear to me. My children, they have their own perspective. They might want to share something. I'm willing to listen. My ears are open. I'm not someone who's closed-minded, but I'm going to take that information and make a decision with it. I know what brings me peace, and I refuse to join people's kumbayas. What is a kumbaya? Kumbaya means that there are people in your life that are miserable. They're working through their own challenges like me. I haven't figured it out. I'm rebuilding my life. Every day has a challenge. There's always a distraction. There's no one to run to in my home and say, honey, this happened today, this is what's going on. These things are real. This is not some game. So the reality is this. You have to be able to continue to feed yourself on what's true for you. You have to be open to listening, because I think closed-minded can be a little scary. We don't live on our own. We don't want to live in our own zone that we know everything. But you have got to figure out what makes sense for you. So you really should figure out what that looks like. You really should know. And when you don't know, when you're in the presence of people who are throwing a lot at you, it's best just to listen and take what's an asset and leave it there. I'm kind of in a season now where I don't have a lot of room for a lot. And all that means is that I'll listen and I'll talk, and I may feedback and I may not. Because I think people should have the right to speak their truth. That's what we should be. We should be people that can hear each other. But hearing you doesn't mean that I receive you. Hearing me doesn't mean you should receive me. You have to know it for yourself. So you really should know who is speaking into your life. What is the intent? And what does your lives represent that can be does it validate, if you're a person that's marriage is awry and a total mess, and you're speaking in someone else's life to tell them what marriage should be, that's something you should pause and ask yourself. If you're a person that's never lost a spouse, raising kids on your own, you should be conscious of that. You can give something that's on your heart to give, because you shouldn't hold back things on your heart to share. But you have to be careful where you step. You're talking about somebody should be healed in this way, and you haven't dealt with the sickness. You have to consider that. Sometimes just listening is the best counsel. Just listening. Just listening. And then respectfully, if you have something to share, I'm respectfully sharing this. I don't know if it's for you, but I'm sharing this. All right, guys, that's enough. I just wanted to share while I was thinking about it. You really should know who's speaking into your life. You really should know what you're willing to die on. You really should be in tune to the decisions that you make every single day. All right, thank you for being here. From love, that was all pinned up in here. I've released it. I can breathe again. I can breathe. I can breathe. So Lord, I allow you to go wherever you want to take it. I've given out of my heart, and I've released it, and wherever it's meant to be, it will go. And more importantly, I'm just grateful that I'm living in the ointment, that it will return to me in some other fashion by someone I may not even know. It always comes back when I share my truth, my encouragement with good intent, a good heart, a genuine heart. It always finds its way back to me, and for that I'm truly grateful. You really should be a part of Helping Build Bridges Across community. Thank you. HelpingBuildBridgesAcross.com. Feel free to visit us. Feel free to join in an Eagle Call. Very serious for me. I live what I believe. I wear, I share, I surround my life with making gratitude contagious. HelpingBuildBridgesAcross.com. Hashtag making gratitude contagious is and will be the intent. Thank you for being here. Thank you for traveling this unfamiliar path with me. Until next time, you really should